accounting, and in today's video what we're going to do is just talk about the strategy that you've got to use when your suppliers increase their prices. So before I go into that though, what I really want to just mention is we just created a training session. It's about 30 minutes long, and it is called how to how to achieve a six-figure profit and £1 million valuation for your business within 2 years. So it's only 30 minutes long, but what we're going to do is release it at the end of this week. So if you are interested in that training, and by the way, it's completely free. If you are interested in that training, then just remember to comment on this video or drop me a message, and we'll make sure you get the link. So I'll go into the content for today's video. So at the moment, we've got a cost of living crisis. So a lot of our suppliers in our business are essentially sending us letters telling us about price increases. And what I think is really, really important is just talk to you guys about the right and wrong way to actually deal with that. So really, when you think about it, there's only three things you can do if a supplier sends you a price increase. So firstly, you can leave that supplier and go somewhere else. Secondly, you can buy less stuff from that supplier and try and do more of it yourself, or try and get another supplier to do bits of it, which you think will be better value, and then you'd be dealing with two different suppliers then instead of one. Or the third thing you could do is essentially stick with that supplier and take the price increase. So let's talk about the pros and cons of each strategy, and how to deal with that. So first thing you can do is you could leave that supplier you've got and go and find another one. Or, well, the best thing to ask is, hey, do we need that thing at all? And if the answer is yeah, we definitely need that thing, then what you then need to do is then you've got an opportunity to go and find another supplier who is charging less. One thing you've got to factor in though is, if a lot of these costs are being driven by a cost of living crisis, then chances are whoever else you go to and approach them for the same service, they may have had to put their costs up in the same way. So you've got to factor that in. Also, what you've then got to do is also factor in the cost of you having to look for that new supplier. You're going to have to factor in the impact of having to move everything over and build a new relationship. And also you've got to factor in a risk element as well, because if you've been working with someone for years and essentially they've been getting the job done, and then you move to someone else who's making all these promises, then there's always a chance this new person can't actually do it, and then you've got a cost of failure in your business. So when you factor all of that in, then what you've got to understand is that that new supplier can't just be a little bit cheaper. They've got to be better value overall. So there's literally no point in moving to save a few pounds if the costs and risks involved in that move are so much greater. So that's just one thing you've got to factor in. And one thing you should definitely not do is tell your current supplier you're leaving until you found a new one. Because obviously if you then end up looking for a new supplier and you can't find them at the right price point, or you can't find someone that's going to do a better job for your business, then why burn a bridge you don't need to? So it's got to be in an order. Find someone new first, and then make sure the risks and the costs involved in moving are worth the monthly saving that you'd get. So option two is really a hybrid of option 1 and 3, but it's essentially buy less stuff or get another supplier involved to save money with it. And then option 3 is essentially stay with that supplier. And one of the really important things about option 3, if you choose to stay with your current supplier, just don't bother grumbling about the price changes. There's just no point in it. It achieves nothing apart from damages your relationship with them. And especially when we're going into a period of really, really tough times. Remember, my first part in that how to grow your business during a recession series was essentially about how you're going to have the right people on board, and that includes the right suppliers. So if you're going to just stay with that supplier anyway, then why damage your relationship by grumbling? Because all that's going to happen is when you really, really need them, you might just end up at the back of the queue for everything else, and they'll prioritize their other customers who they do get on better with. And then what you've actually done is you're paying extra, and then you're probably getting less value just because you've damaged that relationship. So that's pretty much all I've got to say about this subject at the moment. If you've got any input yourself, then feel free to comment. But Yeah, this is quite a challenging time for businesses. Now's the time to be in control of your finances like you've never been in control of them. So this is when you need to look at things like cash flows. This is when you need to look at things like how much profit you're actually making and maintaining your margins. And if you're not sure how to do that, then we know exactly how to do that. So get in touch. You can go to our website, naccounting.co.uk. There's a link in the bottom left. And book yourself in for a strategy session, and we can actually talk about the best way to deal with this. So I will see you at the next video.